It's not one of the three. I don't want it. Let's go ahead and talk about some focus, knowledge, and discipline. Putting ourselves in the place where our mentality has the ability, focusing past the challenges, focusing to the point where we're utilizing what we have inside. So what are the challenges that you're facing off against today? What are the things that you're going through? How do you make it through your challenges? So every day we're going to sit down and we're going to have to ask ourselves, how do we make it through what we are going through today? How do we get to the place inside of who we are? And how do we focus to that point? And so each day that we do that, each day that we give ourselves that place, each day that we sit down with ourselves and start to ask ourselves those types of questions that nobody else can. And what a wonderful thing it is to have challenges. What a wonderful thing it is to have a place inside where we can focus, where we can have things that we work against and that work for us. And so, what are your challenges? What do you do on a daily to overcome them? Ask ourselves the types of questions that nobody else will. And what are those questions that nobody else will ask you? What are those things that nobody else can do for you? What are the things that when you sit down and you focus through them, the challenges that you have, you start to overcome? What are they? Where do you give yourself the ability to go beyond it? When do you start to focus to the point where you have that ability inside of yourself, where you have the ability to make it through the challenges that you have? That what you sit down with is what matters, that what you believe about yourself is what matters. And each of us is going to have that kind of challenge to ask ourselves that question, and it's inside of ourselves that we will have to ask ourselves that question. It's inside of ourselves that we'll have to sit down and start to focus to the point where we go beyond our challenges. And each of us is going to have challenges. Each of us is going to have things to work through. And each of us has different things that we're going to have to work through. Each of us has different, places in their mind where they want to go. They're going to have different places in their ability, in their focus, and their ability to focus past their challenges. A lot of people don't embrace their challenges. They don't embrace the things that are in front of them. They don't put themselves in a place where their mind is positive, where the universe starts to work, where the Most High God starts to work through them, where they start to overcome their challenges. And each day we are going to have challenges. We are going to have things that are going to test us. They're going to ask us the question, is this what you truly want to do? Is this who you truly want to become? And it's going to be on your daily that you're going to have to ask yourself this question. Is what I'm doing today, is it reflecting back what I'm looking for? Is it giving me the ability to focus past my challenges? Is it giving me the ability to go to the point inside where I utilize the tools I have inside? Am I working with what I have? Am I working through the challenges that only I can go through? Because each of us are going to have challenges. Each of us are going to have things that are going to ask us the questions that nobody else will. They're going to get you to the place inside of you where nobody else is willing to go. And it's on that page where the tools inside of yourself start to become motivation, meditation, and inspiration. They start to become a practice. They start to become a mentality. They start to have a place from within to radiate light outwards. It's within yourself. It's within your focus. It's within your grasp to be who you are. You have to sit down with yourself and start to grind on your challenges. Start to grind on your ability to be yourself, to have the ability to go through the things that only you can. And so each day we give ourselves that place. Each day we sit down with who we are inside. We sit down with that person who asks the questions to ourselves, to write it down, to put it in such a way that what we speak out, we write down, we read, the mentality we put in, the things that we absorb, the ability for us to be who we are is up to us. It's up to the person inside of you. It's up to what you are able to ask yourself and what you are able to go through. And so what kind of challenges do you go through? What kind of places do you go that nobody else will? And it's inside of that that you find it. It's inside of that that you go to the place where you start to give yourself permission to face off against those kinds of challenges. And what challenges do you have except for in your mind? What place do you go to where when you face off against these kinds of challenges you start to overcome them? What place inside of you gives you the ability to go through your challenges? It's inside of your mentality. It's inside of your ability to be who you are on the inside and to face off against the things that nobody else will do for you. And so one of those ways is by listening to positivity, by putting yourself in a place where what you're putting in your mind is positive, where what you're going through is positive, where the challenges that you face off against, you start to overcome those challenges. And what kind of challenges, does it take for you to start to see positivity as a platform? What type of challenges does it take for you to sit down with yourself and to start to get down with you? And how do you start to get down with that person inside of you? Do you give yourself the permission to be who you are? Do you give yourself the permission to face off against the things that you go through? Do you put yourself in that place? Do you give yourself that ability? Do you sit down with that person that you are? Because every day you wake up, every day you sit in front of yourself, every single day you breathe your breaths, every single day you have the choice to turn things positive. Every day you have the ability to put it into the mentality where you are you, where you are going through your challenges. Every single day that we wake up, we have that ability to turn things positive. We have that ability to focus past our challenges and to sit down with our manifestation and to sit down with our vibration and to sit down with ourselves, to start to study our energy, to start to study our being, to start to get down with that person inside of who we are. Each of us has that ability inside of ourselves. And it's up to you to want to do it for you. It's up to you to want to become the tool that you are in the universe. It's up to you to want that for yourself. Because nobody else will do it for you. Nobody else can do it for you. It's inside of yourself that you will achieve it. It's inside of yourself that you will be able to pick yourself up. It's inside of that being that starts to manifest light outward. It's inside of that person who's willing to sit down with themselves to that point where nobody else is willing to go, to believe in themselves, to believe in their ability. I once heard somebody say when they were doing a surgery that at a certain point in a surgery, a heart surgery, they have to tell the patient to breathe for themselves, because sometimes stuff goes beyond science, goes to the place of mentality, goes to the ability of vibration, goes to the ability where you have to choose to want to live. You have to choose to want to be positive. You have to choose to want the things that you want in your life. It's up to you to want them. It's not somebody else who can want them for you. Nobody could pick you up truly except for you. Nobody can pick you up if you don't want to be picked up. And so that's where you got to start to pick yourself up. You got to stop comparing yourself to other people. You got to start recognizing your mentality and putting yourself in a place where you have the ability to be who you are on the inside. And how do you start to get there? How do you start to use your tools around you? How do you start to put yourself in a place where that is what it takes? And it takes little steps. It takes the ability to just do little things. It takes a little bit each day, like about 30 minutes of meditation, motivation, inspiration, the ability to get down with yourself, to sit in that place inside of who you are, where your mentality has the ability to grind, has the ability to work. And we look at a lot of people in those kind of mentalities. We like to call them fish tanks of memory, of knowledge. We like to call them those things. But it's in all of us. It's in every single one of you. It's inside of your mentality. It's inside of your ability to be who you already are on the inside. And you don't have to change yourself. You have to start to see the positivity and to start to search after positivity and start putting that into a place where the mentality has the ability for you to be that blessing in this universe. Because each of us are a blessing. Each of us does have challenges. Each of us is going to have points. We are going to have highs and we are going to have lows. And it's inside of the mentality that focus starts to reflect. It's inside of the mentality where the focus of motivation, meditation, and inspiration becomes a reflection of motivation and meditation and inspiration. It's inside of your focusing to the point where you have the ability to get down with yourself. It's at the point where you're able to start to understand the energy inside of yourself, start to get to the place where you have a relationship with you. You start to have a relationship with who you are on the inside, who you have, those challenges, those fears, those emotions. You start to overcome those emotions. You start to overcome those fears. You start to elevate yourself to the place where you start to become a student in your life. Each of us is a student of this life. Each of us is a student of this path. Each of us is a student of this purpose. Do we sit down and study ourselves? Do we sit down and put ourselves in front of a pen and paper? Do we put ourselves in front of our breath? Do we put ourselves in front of our book? And each day that we do that, each page that we learn, each page that we breathe, each challenge that we have, each victory that we face off against, that's for you to be able to make it through on your path, on your journey, on your purpose. It's in your mentality to get to that place. It's in your ability to get to that place. It's in your level of focus to bypass your challenges. And with the mentality you can, with the able mentality you have, the knowledge inside, you have the ability inside, you have the universe around you starts to work as your friend. And as Einstein stated, make the universe your friend. Make this universe a place for you and I to live, where positivity starts to become honesty, where self-honesty starts to become self-study, where self-study starts to become self-manifestation. And so each day we focus to that point, each day that we give ourselves that place, each day that we work through those kinds of challenges, where we focus through those kind of places, as we start to give ourselves the ability to accept that kind of energy inside of ourselves. Blessings. Hello. 1M, 1 and 1M, right?
Yes, hello. How are you?
Blessings, blessings. So you're looking to get an energy reading done?
Yeah.
You have a lot of depth perception, huh? A lot of the other areas, like, it's hard for you to voice yourself, huh? Anyways, so as we continue here, as we put ourselves in a place where we focus past the challenges, as we keep on going to the point where our mentality has the ability, the inside of ourselves starts to grow. The inside of our mentality starts to have a place. The inside of our ability starts to have a place. The inside of who we truly are on the inside starts to manifest outwards. The level of focus inside starts to become the ability for us to be ourselves. The focus inside has a place to grow. The focus inside has a place to manifest. The focus inside has a place to give ourselves the ability to go through our challenges. And each day we will have challenges. Each day we will ask ourselves the questions. Each day that you sit down with who you are, that you sit down and study yourself. Each day that you give yourself that place where nobody else will go. That is a victory for you to be you. When you start to sit down and put the things in front of yourself in a way that you start to master them, that you start to manifest them, that they start to become a being from within, that student inside of yourself starts to ask for the knowledge inwards, starts to ask for the knowledge at a point inside of you, starts to see the point of knowledge inside of your being. And that's where meditation comes in. Self-study is a reflection of your understanding. Self-study is a reflection of your knowledge. Self-study is a reflection of the best friend that is already inside of you. Ask yourself the question when you're by yourself and you're walking or you're going somewhere or you're doing something. Are you your best friend? Are you in a place where you're sitting down with your knowledge, with what you already have? Where what you already have inside is there for you. What you already have inside is with you. And so that is the energy that's inside of you. That is the book. That is the mass that Einstein talks about as mass and energy being interchangeable. That is you. Each day that you go places, each challenge that you go through, realize it is yet but a field trip. It is yet but a place for you to put your mentality, to test your mind, to test your ability if your journey is worth it. And as you access that knowledge inside, as you access that person inside, as you access that purpose inside of you, you start to have a understanding of yourself. You start to have a understanding that you being a part of who you are, being a part of this human being, being a part of this journey that you created for yourself has a place. And what a blessing it is that we have a chapter. What a blessing it is that we have pages, and that we have energy fields, and that we have understanding, and that we can be who we are on the inside. And as we manifest that, as we manifest that ability, as we give ourselves that place, as we get down with ourselves to that purpose, that's when the challenges that we face off against, we start to overcome. And as we see positivity as that focus, we gain the knowledge that's already exists. Ask yourself how many years you've been alive. Ask yourself how long your purpose on the face of the planet has been. How can you allow that certification to become qualified to be yourself? Because you already are qualified to be you. You already are qualified to go through your challenges. You are already qualified to be a blessing in this universe. And it's up for you to take it for yourself. It's up for you to become it within you. It's up for you to understand that when you put your ability in, you put your mentality in, you put your focus in, you put your knowledge in, you get a connection inside of yourself. And that's called you. That connection inside of yourself is a place of discipline. It's a place of being. It's a place of manifestation. It's a place of understanding, and that is you. What a blessing it is to be ourselves. What a blessing it is to face off against challenges that we can make it through. You can do amazing things with your mentality. You can do amazing things with your ability. When you apply your ability, the reflection radiates outwards. When you apply your being, your reflection radiates outwards. When you sit down at a level of discipline where the reflection comes, and that's you, being yourself, being honest with who you are on the inside, facing off against those kinds of challenges to get to the place where you manifest a vibration into the universe, where this universe sees you as a ripple. And as we've seen across the face of the planet, this works. We've seen people across the face of the planet. We have seen people that have achieved great things, that their vibrations are still left on the face of the earth just from being themselves, from finding their practice, from finding them the essence of who they are, finding the essence of who they are on the inside, the essence of who they are on their understanding, on their purpose of their being. And I'm telling you, whatever you're looking to do in your day, if you put yourself in this kind of practice, if you put yourself into this kind of place, and you hear what I'm saying, and I say this day in and day out, and you connect with my networks, if you want to become the best salesman, if you want to become the best artist, writer, singer, if you want to become that person that you want to be, you got to put yourself in that place where you utilize this kind of practice, where this becomes a vibration, where it becomes a manifestation from within who you are, because that point inside, that level of discipline radiates a reflection outwards. And as your mentality has it, as your ability has it, as your observation and your patience and your being has it, your focus gets to the place, starts to get to the challenge, starts to get down with who you truly are. And the beauty inside starts to radiate outwards, and the beauty inside starts to become your being. And other people see that, and they become uplifted from you being who you are. Because who you are is a blessing in the universe. Who you are is a light in the universe. Who you are is a being in the universe. Who you are is a manifestation in this universe. And it's up for you to achieve. It's up for you to truly achieve that inside of yourself. It's up for you to want that for you. And yes, your energy matters. Yes, your purpose matters. And yes, the being inside of you matters. So though this might be a brief, I'm willing to do a few energy readings before I go. But I have some things to do for the day. I want you to see that you are a blessing. I want you to see that you have a purpose. I want you to see that you have a gift in this universe, and that your path, your journey, your purpose is to be who you are. Is to be who you are on the inside. And it's to be who you are on your being, to focus past your challenges, to get to the point where you have the ability to be who you are. And that person inside matters. What a blessing it is to be yourself. I hope you all are blessed. I just want to say blessings, 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 and namaste.